I want to
Oh,
bring in Linda Goler Blount. She's the president and CEO of the Black Women's Health Imperative to talk more about the importance of breast cancer screening and awareness. Linda, thank you so much for joining us. You've heard the reasons why Ananda didn't want to get the mammogram. What are some of the misconceptions about
yeah.
breast exams and screenings that you've heard, particularly from Black women who are more likely to die from breast cancer?
Yeah. And thank you for having this conversation. And Ananda, thank you for your strength and your spirit. There are a lot of misconceptions about breast cancer and mammography in particular, that it's going to be painful, it will cause cancer to spread if you have it, or you'll get cancer from the radiation. Some women believe you don't need to have it unless you're really old or unless you have a family history. None of that's true. We need to have screening mammography. And for a lot of Black women, the one thing that keeps us from getting screened is that we're afraid that if we have cancer, we'll be a burden on our families.
Mm.
So we're thinking of other people first instead of ourselves. And so through this work that we're doing, we're trying to clear up those misconceptions, provide facts and resources that are available. If you go to besure.bwhi.org, you'll get lots of that information. But it's important that we get women information that is true
Right.
and that they can act on.
To your point, why is it so important to get screened early? And by the way, I've had mine done already at the beginning of the year. But why is it important to get
Good
screened
job,
early?
Tamron.
Thank you, Ananda.
Well, it's critical. I mean, Black women and white women actually get mammography at about the same rate. There's no disparity there. But what happens is our breast cancers get detected later when
Mm.
they're harder to treat. So while we get screened at the same rate, Black women tend to die about 40% more than at higher rates rather than white women because of that. When you think about 1981, Black women and white women had the same mortality rates. Well, what happened in 1981? We learned to detect breast cancer, we learned to treat it. So that what we see now, this disparity reflects who got access and who
Wow.
didn't.
I wanted to ask you, though,
Mm,
about the 3D mammogram, because you say that
mhm.
not just a regular exam, that this is key, 3D
Right,
mammogram. Why is
right.
that key?
Well, we want to get screened early because the earlier we can get a breast cancer detected, the more successfully we can treat it. And for Black women who research shows may have dense breast tissue, getting 3D mammography is better for them. 3D has been proven to be superior at detecting tiny lesions in breast cancer. And our partnership with Hologic is really important because the Hologic Genius 3D mammography exam is proven clinically superior to 2D, but it also is the only 3D mammography that is FDA approved as being superior to 2D mammography at detecting lesions when they're really tiny.
So tell me about the
Tamron,
key.
that was my reality. I
That
have
would
very dense breast
Me
tissue
too.
and
I
have
the same thing.
so
Same thing. The
yeah,
same thing. And
that's
that's why
very
when I went in, to your point, Linda and Ananda, when I went in for my recent exam, this is something I never thought I'd be telling you on television. They told me I have dense breast tissue,
Yeah.
and that
Hmm.
as a result, I ended up having to have a biopsy
Wow.
because of an irregularity just recently. And I was willing to go through, obviously, whatever it took, but that was my
Sure.
experience. But I want to know, Linda, about this campaign that you're working on to encourage Black women to get screened.
Yeah. The campaign is called The Power of Sure because we want to make sure that Black women have all the information to deal with the misperceptions, the barriers that keep them from screening. Power stands for prevention, own your health journey, early detection, wellness, rather, early detection, and to get the best results. And so we partnered with Hologic and Rad Aid, but importantly, Mary J. Blige, who has lent her voice to speaking truth to the Black women's health journey and our lived experience to let them know it's okay to talk about our health, talk about our breast health, and to go out and get screened and do what we can to protect ourselves. And one of the things that she was particularly interested in was making sure that low income and low resource women had access. And so through this partnership with Rad Aid, we're bringing screening, mammography, diagnostic follow-up, and treatment to women
Mm,
who don't have health insurance, maybe
right.
they lost it because of COVID-19, or just don't have money, so that we can make sure that all women have access to the kind of early detection and treatment if they need it the way they should. We deserve the best detection and treatment.
Absolutely. Linda, thank you so much for your information. Ananda, thank you. I will continue, as you know, to follow everything that you do because you're a light for so many. Thank you.